I'm here, guys, with Ivie Omoregie. She's a lawyer with a focus on energy and project finance. Now, if her name sounds familiar, you have probably read her work on Bella Naija, where she breaks down common legal issues into, facts that the everyday person can understand. I've definitely learned a lot, and you should check her out. There's always something that you can pick up with you. Today, though, Ivie, we're talking about the economy, and we're talking about some recent trends in business in the economy. So, what's happening?
We have seen a significant decrease in the rate at which foreign investors were coming into Nigeria. And it's quite alarming because the economy right now is at a standstill. Like not that nothing much is going on, but you can't compare it to like 5-10 years ago. Africa has always been seen as a high-risk investment, but people were still coming because the returns were astronomical. Like Africa is one of the only places that you can see a 200% increase in the initial capital invested. So that has significantly declined now. And recently I was reading that the Morgan Stanley International Capital Market Index are thinking of delisting Nigeria. Which is very, very, very alarming. Because a lot of foreign investors use this index to invest. So maybe they'll see, okay, Rwanda has a percentage that they might make back. So if you're not on that list, that means you're not even in the equation, you're not being considered at all. And the main reason for this is the fact that we don't have foreign reserves. So they bring in $100 million, they invest it, the investment goes well, they make $500 million and their money's stuck. And that's the main reason why we are seeing.
And obviously their money is stuck. It's not like it's paper money. So they can't move their money out. No, they can't. So not unless they have a need for it in Nigeria, it's useless to them. Like Naira outside of Nigeria, it's not a tradable currency. So a lot of them are having a lot of issues. A lot of existing investors right now are having significant issues because we are talking about billions of dollars. So not unless the business was being transacted in dollars in the first place. Like you have some oil and gas transactions that are nominated from start to finish in dollars. So you're getting paid in dollars, you're fine. But if it's a business that you are receiving Naira for any reason, you're stuck. And it's not because you haven't done your paperwork or because you've defaulted on your side. It's literally because there isn't enough foreign reserves to go around. That sounds really, really scary. And one of the things we try to do on the show is find out, okay, so how does that relate to the everyday person? Should I care? I mean, the big businesses, why should I care?
A lot of these foreign direct investments, they are creating jobs.
True, that's true.
They're bringing in industries, they're creating a lot of jobs. Then a lot of them, they're paying taxes. And they're producing things that might not readily be available in Nigeria. Like we've had the ban on importation or increased tariffs in importation of cars, trying to encourage foreign manufacturers to come into Nigeria and assemble the cars in Nigeria. So now those ones will not want to come in. So the jobs that could have been produced have gone away. Then the product that would have been produced, obviously, for the Nigerian, it will be cheaper to purchase. That's no longer available. So it's causing a lot of different issues, and we haven't really seen the full implications yet, because obviously this trend has just started. It's just over a year that we've had this significant issue. So it's an interesting time for Nigeria.
Wow, guys, I'm literally thinking like, oh my goodness. We're going to take a quick break now. When we get back, we'll break this down a little further and talk about some other stuff still in the world of business, finance, and the economy on our Biz Buzz Thursdays. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Biz Buzz Thursdays on The Crunch. I'm here with Ivie Omoregie, and just before we went on break, she was talking to us about the fall in foreign direct investment and why we should care, why we should be concerned. Now, another thing that I know is happening is that the World Bank has named us one of the worst places to do business, which obviously does not sound very positive. And I guess the question is, how did we get here?
Mismanagement. That's the main thing. We were too heavily reliant on revenue received from the sale of crude oil.
Yeah.
We have not looked inward and looked at other sectors of the economy and tried to work on them so we can yield significant returns from them.
Okay.
So mismanagement is the main reason. The oil prices have now fallen.
Yeah.
They were $100 a barrel before. They fell to as low as $29 a barrel in January 2016. Nigeria is producing 2.5 million barrels of oil per day. So you can imagine 2.5 million times 100 versus 2.5 million times 29. So even in that 2.5 million, we're still seeing a significant amount of losses. So that's due to the fares, due to pipeline vandalization. So like other economy, we were not the only economy around the world that was heavily reliant on revenue received from oil. But they had savings. Nigeria was just spending. There were people, they were missing 20 billion, missing 15 billion. Money was just falling left, right, and center. So, and that's why we are now crying. Other economies, they've just sat back and they're spending their savings, watching the market. Nothing has really changed in the lives of their citizens. But because we didn't have that culture in Nigeria, it's now an issue. Before, money would come in, money would go out, but they felt that the money would always come in, and they were very, very relaxed. So some people say it's a good thing. Some people say it's going to force us to look at other avenues. Even if the oil prices hadn't fallen the way they did, oil was expected to finish in 2038 anyway. So this has forced us to look within, and I think in the long run, Nigeria will end up the better for it. So, yeah, mismanagement.
Okay, now, if you were to say, okay, this is how I think we should fix this. I mean, of course, we're talking about diversifying the economy, which I know is something that the government is working on. But even that is like a medium to long-term thing. Obviously, nothing is going to change in the next couple of years, Abby?
Well, the Senate has recently, or the President has recently signed the 2016 budget.
Yes.
And one of the things in the budget was increased lending. The country is going to borrow a lot of money with the hope of leveraging this money in various sectors. So that basically works. You take $10 million, you invest in agriculture, you invest in mining, not oil mining, but I mean coal mining, bitumen mining, iron ore mining, other mining apart from oil. You invest in the gas sector, you invest in so many different sectors, and if you invest in 10 different sectors, at least 7 will yield back significant returns. So aside from that, I know based on the budget again, there's an intention to start taxing.
Yes.
You can't compare tax in Nigeria to tax in America or tax in Europe. England runs predominantly on tax. American citizens are liable to tax irrespective of where the money is being earned.
Yes, I remember.
In Nigeria, you see a lot of large companies not paying adequate taxes. And that's the one that are paying. Majority of people don't pay taxes. People don't realize that it is your duty as the employer to make sure that your employees are paying taxes. So that means your drivers, your cooks, your nannies. Nobody really thinks, okay, is this nanny paying tax? But fundamentally, the tax is being used to develop the economy. You can't expect the economy to boom if they're not adequately collecting taxes. But even aside from that, the government is offering various different incentives to people wanting to invest in different sectors. So these sectors include agriculture. People see farming in Nigeria, it's like a curse. But in England, the Range Rover drivers are farmers.
Yes, that's true.
And people don't realize that farming, there's a science to farming. And when you talk about farming, you're not just talking about, growing mushrooms or growing onions. You're talking about livestock. You're talking about feedstock. You're talking about the crops, but you're also talking about the production of farming equipment.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And we need to get Nigeria to a point whereby we are exporting.
Ivie, thank you so much. I think you broke this down. I understand so much better now why, what's going on with us. And I like the fact that you also explained what's happening, like what's being done, what are some of the plans. To me, it also looks like there are lots of investment opportunities for people who are, forward thinking enough. And guys, this is one of the reasons why we want to talk about these things, because you need to understand what's happening with the economy and how it affects you and how you can be a part of the solution. So thank you again for that. Yeah, a good lecturer, somebody, honestly. She's great at this. Guys, we're going to take a really quick break now. We'll be right back.